Philadelphia. Welcome once again to the online IFA classroom. My name is David Graham. I go by Awo IFA Foray. And I wanted to start today by thanking everyone who subscribed to the channel, who watches the content, who asks insightful questions or gives insightful comments about the content that I put up. And also say that I'm going to try to address all of the questions that I receive in videos. Just hope that you can be patient. I will eventually get around to it. It seems that it's impossible to make everyone happy all the time, but I will certainly do my best. Today I want to talk about the subject of spells, hexes, curses, and all other manner of nasty workings. I want to talk about it because when I do these videos, I look for guidance from Arumula or from Ifa on what to talk about, and typically that comes in the form of a barrage of questions, concerns, comments, or criticisms about a certain topic at a given time. In the last few weeks, I have received an awful lot of comments, concerns via email, via the channel, about what to do if someone has cursed you, what to do if someone's throwing stuff at you, what to do about negative energy. And I thought it was probably a decent topic for discussion, and one that, quite frankly, I think almost nothing about. So here's the truth. The truth is that line of thought, that manner of questioning, is based out of fear. And Ifa teaches, when you're working this path correctly, that you need have no fear. Is it true that someone could be sitting in their spiritual space or in their basement or out in nature or in the forest at midnight under a full moon, chanting away about you, cursing you, hexing you, sacrificing things, wishing all manner of negative energy upon you? Yes, it's absolutely true and absolutely possible that that could happen. Here's the greater truth, boys and girls. If you're working this path, again, the way that it is supposed to be worked, living what Ifa would define as Iwa Pele, none of that stuff can touch you. Period. End of story. This has been handed down to me by my elders time and time again. This is confirmed in Ifa scripture, i.e. the Odu, time and time again. That if you're working this path the way that it's supposed to be worked, none of that stuff can touch you. I can't imagine how many tongues have been tied up with my name, or things thrown in prenda pots, or whatever other nastiness people concoct. I think zero about it. Now, I'll say all that to say that there are times when a client or someone can pick up genuine negative energy. That is confirmed via Ifa divination, and it is dealt with. And it is never dealt with in the context of, is someone doing something to me? It is more dealt with in the context of, we have identified a problem. The problem is negative energy that was either picked up or directed, doesn't matter, but that the client or even myself has come in contact with, and it must be dealt with. And there are ways that Ifa deals with this. And the way that it's dealt with is typically just a offering or a ceremony that essentially severs the ties to that energy and sends it on its merry way. Negative energy is not sentient. It is not coming to get you. Typically, it just is. And sometimes bad things happen to good people. And there's not necessarily a rhyme or reason that we can discern. It's just something that needs to be dealt with and moved on. I can tell you that in my career as a diviner, my career as an Awo over 10 years, there have been 3 instances when this has come up over innumerable readings, both for myself and for others. And all 3 of them was, the client has some negative energy that they're dealing with. Here's what we need to do with it, and cut it loose, and off it goes on its merry way. And it has never shown back up the next time, the next reading, the next consultation with the client, that, oh my God, they're continuing to carry it. The work is done. End of story. As I said, if you're working this path the way that it is supposed to be worked, then none of this stuff can touch you. Give you an example. If you're not stealing, if you're not embezzling money from the government, if you're not uh, driving around with narcotics in your car, if there's no way for negative energy to permeate your life, then you have nothing to worry about. If you haven't broken any law, there's no way that you're accidentally going to go to jail. If you're taking good care of your health, it's very, very rare that you're going to be stricken by a life-threatening illness out of the blue. It's possible. Highly, highly unlikely, and in the event that that were to happen, IFA has solutions to those problems. If you're relatively young, in good health, taking care of yourself, not driving drunk, not playing dodgeball with bullets, not sword fighting, then the chances of you dying before your time are very, very slight. I had somebody ask me once, but David, question, let's say someone did a horrible spell to you and you died before your time. It's not possible. If you're, as an IFA priest, if I'm divining for myself on a regular basis and staying spiritually tuned up, then I will recognize death coming before my time and I will deal with it. Or I will recognize death and that it is my time and I'll go. Either way, there's nothing to be afraid of. Everything is happening exactly as it is supposed to happen. I would say to those folks that, and again, a lot of it I feel very bad for because the people don't have any spiritual training or any spiritual understanding, and they've come up under the guise of hocus pocus mumbo jumbo, things are always out to get you. Again, simply not the way that it is. Rule number one, if it's not logical, it's not true. Everything that we do in IFA has a logical basis to it. Now, you may not understand it. Many of the traditions were passed down from ancient Africa long before running water, electricity, written history, recorded history. And it's our job to reclaim the understanding of the rituals and the purpose behind them. And that's not always easy to do. So some of it can look very esoteric or secret. I assure you that that's not the case. When you cut through all of the smoke and mirrors, there's always a reason for everything we do in IFA. But for those of you that don't have the training and have come up under a paradigm or a teacher or a book or something that is always talking about, heaven and hell, fire and brimstone, something's out to get you, curses, manifestations, negative energies, negative entities, you would be much better served spending that time rather than worry about those energies and worrying about the negativity. You'd be much better served finding an elder to learn under and who can teach you the proper understanding of this philosophy. If you can't find an elder, you'd be much better off reading material published by genuine IFA elders who understand the reason behind things. As the reason gets clear to you, the smoke and mirrors disappear. As you get a greater understanding of why we work with our ancestors, what the Orisha are, what divination really is, problem solving, not fortune telling, what Ebo really is and why it exists, then the veil of secrecy, of confusion, of fear, of misunderstanding, I assure you it will be lifted. And then you won't spend your time worrying about who's throwing what at me, what do I need to do to psychically protect myself, what do I need to do to throw things back, etc., etc. It's a waste of time, it's unnecessary, it's non-productive, and it's time you could be spending elevating your vibration, elevating your consciousness, so that you in turn can pass this on to somebody else. That's what this is all about, folks. If your life gets better, my life gets better. So my job as an IFA priest, as one who has learned a great deal about this philosophy and knows more than the uninitiated, it's my job to pass that knowledge on, to initiate others, to teach. And that should be your job as well. Once you are vibrationally and spiritually grounded, focused, self-sustaining, then it's your job to elevate the next generation so that we can make this a better place for our children, their children, and so on and so forth. And that's why you will hear people say, that you need an initiation in order to protect you from things. It's not that things are out to get you. It's not that initiation necessarily fixes that. It's that every level of initiation you receive is basically a degree in spiritual development. Every degree in spiritual development will come along with psychic protection, meaning knowledge and understanding of how things work, of why things work, that negate your previous thoughts, understandings, um, and remove fears, misconceptions, confusion, etc. So the bottom line is, if you're living a good life, if you're walking in good character, if you're doing the right things, if you're moving with positive intent, if you're working with good elders and you're studying good source material, then don't waste your time, thoughts, emotions on negative energy, on bringing other people down, on the idea of other people bringing you down, of the something's always out to get you. This is a benevolent universe. It works. It's meant to work. All you have to do is do your part. And Ifa is very clear about what your part is. There's an old African proverb that says that good character is destiny and destiny is good character. Meaning that if at any moment you're unsure about what your destiny holds, do the right thing for the right reasons and everything else will fall into place. Pretty simple to understand. I hope it's clear. I hope it's been of some help. As usual, you can email any questions, concerns, or just get in touch with me on the channel. Until next time, take care of yourself and take care of each other.